What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the No Fire Podcast. We're on episode 18. Happy to be here. The number one podcast in our hearts. Number one podcast that we make. Number one in many ways. So, I've been seeing this video that's been absolutely exploding on TikTok about a conscious baby. And there's the woman behind the camera, and she's speaking to her family. They're in like a hotel room of some sort or bedroom of some sort. And she goes, something about, I have something exciting to tell you guys. Or she goes, I have a question. And she says, who wants to go to the Four Seasons Orlando? And I'm assuming her husband is holding their baby. And this baby looks very young, still bald, in a diaper, gut hanging out. And the baby raises his hand and goes, me. And I keep getting this content pushed towards me about the babies being fully conscious and the idea of like infants being fully conscious and like aware of what's actually going on around them. So I had to dig a little deeper. I had to do some research, and it kind of just seems like the baby was probably a little bit older and it just didn't have hair yet, that it was probably between 15 and 18 months old, and that it probably knows a few words, and you know, it's
okay.
I just don't think that babies are fully conscious for a while.
I don't know. I don't know the age that they become fully conscious, but that baby looked young.
It looked young. It looked really young.
But we don't have kids, so we don't know.
No, we don't know. But the video is absolutely hilarious. If you haven't seen the video, it's a need to watch video. It's very funny. There's all these edits going on where they're doing like old timey, like they pause the video right here as the baby's about to say me. Thank you, mother, for this wonderful opportunity. And just goes into detail. It's really funny.
I love that.
Yeah. But it's just a happy little baby wanting to go on vacation.
Yeah.
The idea that a baby's conscious, I'm not there yet on that.
Yeah.
I'm not fully with it.
I mean, I haven't done any like research on it, obviously, so I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing, though. That's scary.
Well, I think so the research I did, between 7 to 9 months is when they start to realize that they're a separate person. They start to like grab things and manipulate things and realize that they can actually do things.
Mm-hmm.
And the sounds that they make have reactions from people. They start to smile. And as the months progress, that just furthers.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I love that video.
I do too. It's cute.
It's a great video.
It's funny because after you showed it to me, I have been seeing it now on my For You page.
The targeting of ads in your algorithm is crazy.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I talked about this tool that can tune a car with Hunter and Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And I am getting so many ads about these plug-in tuners for your car. It has taken over my Facebook.
I'm sure.
I'll be watching videos or scrolling through like the feed, and it's just ad after ad or ad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not doing anything to my car.
I know. That happens to me all the time. That just happened the other day with something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I was talking about it, and then all of a sudden I was getting ads for it.
It's made me come to the conclusion. I've also been watching a lot of like finance videos, how to retire early, stuff like that. Wishful thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to start planning for retirement, or at least start saving money in, a 401k type account where I can get compound interest and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's made me realize that, I don't know, it's adjusted my perspective on my priorities as far as finances go. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to have to drive this car until something seriously wrong happens to it. And I'm financially forced to get a new one because I still owe on the car. And it's just a better idea to drive it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
And then
It's unfortunate because that itch is real.
Oh, it's real. I've been looking at cars every day. Like I've been looking at houses every day.
Maybe it was the Forerunner, talking about the Forerunner, and I got an ad for it. But I feel like I'm always talking about Forerunners.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we need to. I like the idea of having a Forerunner because it's a bulletproof vehicle. But we need to get you on to some other SUVs to see what you really like.
I like that.
Because I feel like you're closer to getting a new car than I am.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, depending on our car situation, how things go down. But yeah, I don't know. That is just, social media is wild. One thing that I was going to ask you, I have a bunch of questions, almost interview style, but I wanted to ask you this. At what point does social media become too excessive?
What do you mean too excessive?
We'll bring it back to a relationship standpoint because our podcast is all about relationships. That's where our core values are. So in the aspect of a relationship, like if I were to be obsessed with social media, at what point does it become too excessive?
Like that is causing an issue in the relationship?
Well, is that the point at which it becomes too excessive in your opinion?
Yeah, probably.
How do you think it would cause an issue in the relationship?
I feel like I don't know, if we can't go out to dinner and you can't put your damn phone down.
Okay.
That's annoying, and I'd probably only be able to deal with it for but so long, like trying to have conversation with you and you're always on social media, like couldn't do it. That it would just be, for me, it'd be like a build up and then I'd explode. It'd be a bunch of little things. When it comes to that, like the excessiveness of it and always being on it, it'd probably take me a while to explode, but I'd explode.
So it'd be like the excessiveness would be the amount of time spent on it, or the inability to remove myself from being on social media, even
and
when
not
it comes
being
to
present.
having conversations.
Yeah, like not being able to be present and like put your phone down and like be here for what we're talking about, be here for what we're doing. Like I feel like everybody enjoys social media, but like there has to be like a line, you know? You can't.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm at that point where it's almost a little excessive for my own life because I keep trying to come up with these business ideas or these thoughts of becoming financially free or finding a way out of just the normal day-to-day life, and I try to do that through social media. So I find myself just scrolling and watching video after video to the point of where it's taking away from other things that I'm currently doing. Like I'll spend an hour on my phone when I could have spent an hour filming things, making review videos, doing something that's actually productive. And yeah, I think there's a part of me that enjoys watching those videos and just being on social media and kind of doing it mindlessly. And there's a part of it that can be productive if I'm sitting down and taking actionable things to further whatever I'm like watching on social media.
Yeah, but you go into it with the intent of it being something that like you're trying to learn. But
I come out of it with nothing every time. So that's why it feels too excessive, because it's not productive for me.
Yeah. I mean, I got like that with like trying to find video tutorials on like wire weaving and stuff. I just fucking became so over it, trying to like watch all these videos, and I felt like I wasn't learning what I wanted to learn. Then I started resorting to going to try to buy tutorials via like PDF, so I had like the documentation in front of me. Yeah, I feel that. I get that. But
I always get hesitant to buy those courses because in my head I'm like, there has to be a free resource online that I could get. Yeah, you think that,
but it's not. Excuse me. All things aren't like free to the public. You know what I mean? Like some people want to gatekeep.
Yeah, and that's why I want to make a course now. That's my new like thing that I'm stuck on.
I know you are.
Is building a social media, gaining a following of some type, specifically like a niche thing, and then creating a course for it.
I will say I do buy like majority of my like tutorials type course things on Etsy, so
yeah,
it'd be a good place to look into.
I don't know if I'd make it on Etsy. I've never actually thought about that because that's more of like a digital product. What I was thinking is So say it's in the fitness and nutrition realm.
Mm-hmm.
I make a YouTube channel where I make YouTube content that's related to fitness and nutrition. Maybe it's, hacks in the kitchen to lower your calories but still enjoy your meals. Maybe it's specific types of workouts or ways to burn fat or, gain muscle, whatever the case is. I get that niche and I stick to it and I make some content. And then I make a course where it has dedicated videos that go a little bit more in depth, that give you all of the tools and all of the resources that I may have behind a paywall. That was the kind of course that I was thinking of.
I mean, that's fair. That's a probably better.
It's a little different from what you were looking into, but yours is different. Yours,
Yeah.
I mean, you're doing the wrapping and weaving thing, so maybe it's a little bit better for you to get like a digital material that's maybe pictures and writing. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it has like both. Because for me, I like it because I can go. I mean, obviously, you can go back and watch a video or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I like having like the step by step to see where I'm going wrong, I guess. But mine's more of like a physical thing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's different.
Yeah. I don't know. Now
I mean,
have
I'm
all
not making these tutorials, so
Yeah. Well, maybe you could at some point.
maybe.
Once you get to the point where you've bought the tutorials, you've learned how to do things, and maybe you've created a new way to wrap and weave things that you feel like is something that nobody else has done, maybe
Yeah.
it's time for you to show off your skills behind a paywall, of course.
We'll do that. We'll jump.
We're trying to help out the people. We're trying to get rich at the same time, so.
What is the terminology? We'll
What?
cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
I like blanked out.
I saw a clip of these guys make up sayings that aren't real, but they kind of explain what they should mean. And I saw one last night, and he said, oh God, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it's something about putting your finger on the hose. And he was like, so the saying is, put your finger on the hose, or don't put your finger on the hose, or take your finger off the hose. Basically, like, you're stopping the flow of whatever's going on, and you need to take your finger off the hose.
I've never heard that terminology.
Because it's not real. He made it up.
Oh.
They come up with sayings that aren't real.
Okay, but what's the purpose of that?
It's just something they do on their podcast.
Oh.
They'll both come together with a couple ideas where they have these sayings, and they're usually pretty funny, but their explanations make sense.
I would need to hear the explanation.
It's sayings that aren't sayings that should be sayings. I don't have any on hand, and I can't specifically remember what they said, but they're entertaining. They're pretty good. So I have a couple of things that I did research on for this episode. So I was thinking of misconceptions, things that people think that they know for a fact, but aren't really a fact. I know when I was a kid, there was always this idea that you shouldn't take candy from a stranger, but you're going to strangers' houses and getting candy, right?
Yeah.
But there was always this thought that maybe somebody was going to drug the candy or put razor blades in this candy, blah, blah, blah. So you never ate candy that looked like it was unwrapped or homemade or anything like that.
Right.
It's basically just what your parents always told you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a misconception. There are no cases that have been proven of strangers killing or permanently injuring children by intentionally hiding poisonous drugs or sharp objects in candy during Halloween.
Read me the beginning of that.
So it's a little specific.
Yeah.
It says there are no cases that have been proven of strangers killing or permanently injuring children.
Killing or permanently injuring from candy is very like specific. They could be poisoned, they could be sick, they could be injured but not like deadly injured.
Permanently injured.
Yeah.
So something that's funny is that this was a giant paragraph that I was reading, and it goes on in the bottom to explain that a lot of family members or parents kind of gave out this image that a stranger might put drugs or poison in a candy.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, they were actually poisoning their own child, and they wanted to cover it up. So they would do it on Halloween and poison their child.
What?
I know, right? Sick.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's also very sad.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, that's where the saying came from.
Wikipedia sketchy.
Yeah. Well, they're all from Wikipedia, but most of them are true.
Okay.
Hopefully. These are all opinions, not facts. Next one I got is the seeds of peppers aren't the actual spicy part. The hottest part of the pepper is the placental tissue. That's the part where the seeds are connected to, like the white part on the inside.
I could definitely see that.
I always thought that the seeds were the spiciest part. I can't be the only one.
I do think it is spicier than the outside, like the seeds are, but I do think that skin or whatever it is that it's sitting on, yeah, that is spicy.
Well, apparently the level of capsaicin, I think that's how you say it. The level of that in the seeds is lower than any other part of the plant, other than maybe like the stem.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
My pepper plant is getting big. My pepper is already like bigger than my 2 fingers.
Pluck it.
No, it's a habanero. Isn't it going to get bigger?
Keep watering it so it doesn't get too spicy. Remember that tip.
I've been watering it because the leaves get wilty.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good way to keep it up. How's the pumpkin plant doing?
Going crazy.
And the banana plant?
Doing well. It's just pushing out leaf after leaf. It's on its 3rd leaf since it's been here.
I just bought some bananas. I'm ready for this plant to start
It won't it'll
flowering. What is it?
It fruits and it technically flowers.
Fruits and flowers.
But it won't grow bananas until it's at least a year old.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, how do we know how old it was before we got it? It's like adopting a stray dog.
Yeah, but it was still considered premature.
All right, I got one more for you.
Okay.
This is weed related. If you had to guess, where do you think the saying 420 comes from?
I really don't know.
So this is actually a misconception that I had. All of these were misconceptions that I had. I just found them interesting, and that's why I wrote them down. So I thought that 420 came from the Los Angeles Penal Code. Like, basically, I thought it was the thing that, like, we have a 420 or whatever they would say. It's like this is like a marijuana related accusation of some sort. So it's actually not that. It's from 1971 at San Rafael High School. A group of students would go out and smoke at 420.
Interesting.
Which seems crazy because literally kids going out to smoke at 420 started
a whole movement.
The whole 420 thing. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought those are like, interesting little fun things that I was reading about.
Tidbits.
Yeah.
Tidbits. Yeah. I turned away when I said that.
So let's go ahead and hop into the relationship corner. If you guys have never seen our podcast, we do a portion of the podcast that is called the Relationship Corner, where we talk about relationship topics, we discuss them, we read stories, and we give our opinions and thoughts on it. So this week, for the Relationship Corner, it's going to be short and sweet, but it may be divisive. So we'll see what you think.
Okay.
Should you stay in a relationship for the sake of your children?
No.
Is there any scenario where you should stay in a relationship for the sake of anything?
I don't have children. I can't. I really can't speak on that. I just know.
Oh, we're professionals in the field, so tell them how you really feel.
I grew up with a mom who loved my dad more than like life itself. Like, my mom loved my dad wholeheartedly since she was a kid, and there were multiple times that like she should have left and not came back. And you know what I mean? Like, I think that in her mind she wanted to keep the family together, and she kept going back and kept going back. But I'm like 8, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you dealing with that? Why are you letting him treat you that way? But I mean, it goes back to how she was raised and what she witnessed and what she dealt with, and then what her mom dealt with. You know what I mean? It's just like years of generational things. And for me, if I had kids, I wouldn't say for the sake of them. I want to do what's best for them. And if I'm in a toxic relationship and it's whether it can be toxic on any level, there's 1,000 fucking levels of toxicity that it can be on. Doesn't matter. I don't want my kids raised in that.
Yeah.
I grew up in that, and I want better for my kids. I don't want them to deal with what I dealt with growing up. Like, love my parents forever and always, but I want better.
Do you think it would take longer for you to leave a partner if there were children involved?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think that like anybody wants to keep their family together. You're not gonna like first wind of like trouble. It's not like I'd run, you know what I mean? But
Right.
like I'd fight until I couldn't fight anymore, and then I'd leave. That would be what it is. Like, again, I don't have kids, so it's hard to like. I think maybe there's some things that like would be harder to deal with emotionally, mentally, physically, like with the separation of like taking kids and separating your household and that whole situation. But I would like to think that at the end of the day that I want to do what's best for them, and I want them to be raised in a safe place for all cases, safe where they can, come to me about anything. They can, their home is their safety net. Like I want that for them.
Well, what if you being with your partner creates that better environment for them?
Then I wouldn't have to leave my partner.
Well, it's not a good environment for you, but it's a better environment for the child or children.
You would have to give me a scenario and how that would be.
I don't know. You just fall out of love with your partner.
Okay, well then you can still separate. I guess I'm not really like
No,
you're asking would I
saying,
stay with my partner that I'm not in love with to keep my kids happy?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that was like the question.
That's not fair. Well, like why do they get a mom who's not like fully happy within herself? Like if you can't show up for yourself, how are you going to show up for your kids? If you can't stand up for yourself and what you want for your life and how you want to be treated and how you want to feel every day, like how can you expect your kids to go out into the world and fight for what they want?
I'm going to clip that. It's about to get divisive in here.
It's going to be opinionated as a motherfucker. Again, I don't have kids. I'm just saying.
Oh, we're not putting that part in. We're clipping the juicy stuff.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I want better. I want better for them.
Better for you or better for them?
Better for them. It would take a lot for me to fall out of love with someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't have kids.
Yeah, I guess you don't know what you do until you're in the situation.
Yeah. Things shaking.
I think you summed that up pretty good.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah. Nice job. Well, thanks for tuning into the relationship corner.
It was the Sapphire's opinion corner.
I mean, mostly it's my opinion, so
It's funny.
I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. All right, so off of the relationship corner, onto the different stuff we have to talk about. Some of this could be like relationship related.
Hit me.
So what would you do if you got invited to a destination wedding where you're the maid of honor, but it's going to cost you a lot of money?
Who is it to me?
Your best friend.
I'm going.
$7,000.
I'm going to figure it out. I'm going.
Put it on a credit card. If you
I don't have a credit card that has that big of a balance.
You don't have the money in this scenario. Like it's putting you in a financial pinch.
I don't know.
Yeah, like what do you do?
I would like to think that like the type of person that I am, I would find a way to like do odd jobs and make money to like get together and show up for my friend because she's my best friend.
You'd find a way.
Yeah, like to be honest, out of all my best friends, I think Phil would be the bougie one with the destination wedding. Mm-hmm. But I would make it happen. Even if I was broke, I would make it happen.
You're a good friend.
I would, yeah.
I debated it for a minute. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, like where are we going? Fuck. Brazil?
I don't know. Trying to put feelers out there.
Yeah.
Have you ever called 911? If you have, it's clearly not very memorable.
Yes. Obviously, I don't think so.
I've called 911.
For what?
When I got in my very first car accident. And I called 911 5 times.
What?
The 5th time is when they finally answered.
What do you mean?
When you're in a scary situation, in the point where you genuinely think somebody could potentially die, and you dial 911 for the very first time, and it goes to a busy tone. Just, sorry, all operators are busy at the moment. What?
Maybe that's why you can text 911 now.
I was just speechless. I was like, what?
I can't believe you had to call 5 times.
Called again, busy. Called again, busy. Called again, busy.
I didn't know they had like a busy symbol, like signal like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
I mean, maybe it's changed now. This was
I was going to say
10
how long
years ago, but...
If you can text 911, they don't have call waiting now.
Well, like what?
Or
what
they
if
have
there
call
was
waiting,
an intruder in your home where it was like even a worse scenario than I was in, where you think somebody's about to kill you and you need the cops to be there, or you need an ambulance or like something. Busy tone, sorry.
Text it.
At least like record the call, so like if I die, you have some evidence.
They record all the calls.
Not if they don't answer.
Oh yeah, duh. That's true. And they don't have voicemail.
Yeah, I don't know. Tell me your 911 stories. Anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
What do you got? Because I thought that was pretty crazy.
I mean, I'm sure I've called for like the couple car accidents I've been in, but like I don't remember.
Where it's like not really an emergency.
Yeah.
This was an emergency. I needed 911 there. I saw a video of this guy asking why his white friends don't keep hot sauce in the refrigerator. And it's stitched with a white guy going in his refrigerator and taking out the ketchup and then saying, it says right on the bottle to say refrigerate after opening. Yes, I think we all keep ketchup in the refrigerator, but I do not keep hot sauce in the refrigerator.
No, I don't like hot sauce cold.
Are you supposed to keep hot sauce in the refrigerator?
I don't think so. Think about when you go to the like Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, but restaurants keep ketchup out. And it literally says on the bottle to keep refrigerated after opening. So there's this thing about having enough vinegar in a condiment that maybe makes it like shelf stable. Does ketchup have enough vinegar in there to make it like okay to not refrigerate?
I don't know. I mean,
I would imagine hot sauce would, because there's probably more vinegar in hot sauce than there would be in, barbecue or ketchup or anything like that.
I'm sure.
What about mustard? Mustard doesn't have vinegar, right?
I feel like it's very acidic.
Is it? I'm not a mustard guy.
I love mustard.
Absolutely not. So what condiments do you keep in your refrigerator?
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue I do. Ketchup I do.
We live together. I know what you do.
Hot sauce I do not. Buffalo I keep in the refrigerator though.
That's different. It's like a thicker
Is it?
consistency.
Is it different?
It's like creamier.
Well, the thing, so I made homemade buffalo one time and I put hot sauce, butter, honey, and garlic in it.
Mm-hmm.
Butter doesn't necessarily have to be refrigerated, but I always keep butter in the refrigerator. I don't know. There's weird things about food.
I agree.
Like I'm particular in a way. Like if somebody just had butter sitting out and then they used it and they wanted me to use it, I probably wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I don't think I would like that.
I don't know.
Like it's like nice and soft for you, but
Well, if that's a different thing. If you're like sitting down to eat and it's just getting softer, that's fine because it hasn't
no, I
been
mean
out that
just
long.
like over time.
But yeah, you go over to somebody's house and they just open up a little container that's on, in the kitchen, sitting on the
You want some
counter.
of this for your bagel?
No, thank you.
I will eat it dry.
Yeah. I don't know. Next up. How would you feel if your sister stole a child's name that you had picked out and she knew you had picked it out?
Oh, I'd be fucking pissed. I would be pissed.
It's like, what do you do now? You have to name the child something else. You can't just have their cousin have the same name.
And I would tell the kids the story later in life. Just so you know, your name was supposed to be this, but your titi decided that she wanted to take the name, and that's why your cousin's named that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
I would be too. That, I mean, what do?
You have to pick a different name.
You lost the name. Should have had the baby sooner, I guess. That's messed up, though. If they know that it's like that's the name that you had picked out.
I hope I don't get pregnant with my siblings. I mean, my siblings all have kids already, so.
Yeah. Too many.
No. Just enough.
Too many. So, I was thinking about this the other day. Why do urinals, not all urinals, have like like walls in between them? There'll just be two urinals right next to each other.
Honey, I have no idea.
Yeah, but why the fuck would they do that?
Because y'all don't give a fuck, and it's
Who is building this? Who designed that?
Oh, fucking look at my penis while I pee game.
Yeah, no, that's not a thing.
I don't know.
I don't know what guys you're talking to.
You're the only one, motherfucker.
Well, that ain't the game.
I don't think I've ever been inside.
Averting as much eye contact as possible. I don't want to see your face. I don't want to see your body. I don't want to see anything. I'm looking down or I'm looking directly at the wall. That's it. Why they wouldn't put a wall in between? I don't fucking know. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, because y'all don't have shame in y'all game, I guess. All y'all.
I don't think that's true for most people.
Some of y'all don't have shame in your game. I don't know, baby. You tell me.
Well, that's why I posed the question, because it's fucking stupid.
I don't think I've ever been inside a male bathroom.
No?
No.
I mean, why would you? Yeah. I've been inside female bathrooms many a times.
I'm sure.
I cleaned them for over a year, so. Not in a weird way.
Yeah.
In a work way. So we talked about the conscious baby. Still love that video. Last thing I got on my list. Is it okay to tell your boss that's not my job? I can think of 1,000 scenarios where I'd say that.
I could also think of very many scenarios where I would also say that. However, do I think it's appropriate for work? No. Unfortunately. Like, if it's like extensively out of like your job, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if one of our managers told me to go clean the bathrooms, that's not happening.
Well, the thing is, like, the scenario I'm coming up with in my head is the reason that you're having to do something that's like outside of your job title is because your other teammates or your other coworkers can't do their own job. So you're now having to pick up their slack because they're lazy.
No, not doing it.
That's at the point where I'm like, that's not my job.
No, I'm not doing that.
I already do too much for everybody else. You asking me to do this is stepping over a line.
Yep, I agree with that 1,000%.
But at the same time, you got to kind of teeter that line where you're not being disrespectful.
Yes.
And if it is in the realm of your possibility and it's not giving you heartache or physical detriment, then maybe you should just do it. But your boss will take advantage of you and have you do things that are outside of your, job title.
Yeah, that's true.
Because companies are greedy, and we don't like that.
Damn right.
We're going to see if we can't find some wonderful office chairs, knock out some errands, do some things, and edit this podcast.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Shouldn't be too bad. It is getting stupid hot outside. I played pickleball yesterday, got a little sunburnt, ran half a mile, and I feel terrible today. Everything is sore. Cardio is just not in the cards for me. So if you want my course on how to get lean and fit without cardio, let me know. Comment down below.
Damn it.
I don't know what to comment, but comment fit. F-I-T fit.
No, lean mean.
Lean mean. Lean mean.
No, a machine.
No. I don't want my name to do anything with it. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the No Fire Podcast. You can see us every Thursday on YouTube for the video format, or Spotify, or wherever you like to listen to your podcast for the audio format. Also, check us out on Instagram at No Fire Pod or TikTok at No Fire Podcasts, and we will see you guys next time. Don't forget to watch the special edition cooking episode. Peace.